Today on the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, the wait is over. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is here, and we have to talk about it. All that and more that we have no control over.
Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. My name is Matthew Carroll.
And I'm Jeff Randall.
And I'm Ashley Coffin.
Welcome, my friends.
Trio of heroes!
I know. I love the movies. I love because we're always back together.
Me too. I love it. And it's just crazy that it's been like two months since a Marvel thing, and that it's weird that feels like a long time. We're gonna do a news episode this week, I think, because apparently Kevin Feige came out and said that like
they're slowing down.
They're slowing down their content release, which I think is a good move for Marvel. I think it's even a good move for shows like ours, because I think like at some point they're burning people out, having something every week, but it's sad. I want more, not less.
I know.
Exactly.
Getting
like
so
when
much, when
sitting through this movie, I was like, at what point? I don't know when the next thing is, because I know it shouldn't be Guardians. Like there should be a show before then, right? I don't know when the next thing is releasing. They haven't told us.
Yep. So we're just planning weeks and weeks of Quantumania coverage.
It's funny, we had that little schedule above feedback, and we are way down to the bottom because everything got pushed back and dates got changed for so many dates. Movies. Yeah.
The movies are there, but there's no dates for shows yet, like just none. And I think it's because they're still making decisions. I wonder if some of those things are just in the can, ready to go. They're just like, when do we drop this? Like, when's the time? You know,
tomorrow? Is tomorrow good?
Oh man, if they announced they were dropping something tomorrow. Okay, let's get into the spoiler-free reaction for just like a minute. What'd you think, Ashley?
I really liked it. It was very cute. It was fun. I don't know. I guess the whole time I was expecting something to happen more dramatic. The trailer was very dramatic compared to like all the other Ant-Man trailers are a lot of fun, like Guardians ones. Like the new Guardian trailer is very dramatic too. And I guess like I just expected a little bit more evil from Kang. I really loved everything he did, but I wanted, I don't know, maybe a little more, but I did like it. And I thought the jokes were funny. They hit. It was cute in the best way.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. I think that the trailer felt a little more epic. I think this was pretty epic, and there's some pretty great things in there. But I do think that like, I'll get into it once the spoiler section gets here.
Sure.
What do you think, Jeff?
I feel like it was a little bit of a departure from the tone of the Ant-Man franchise. Because, like, so far the Ant-Man franchise has been, like, it's been that fun around a heist kind of thing. And, like, that's been the way that things have gone. And just, like, in this one, the scale and scope of everything is just so much different from previous Ant-Man outings, and it affects the tone of it, and it affects the fun that the movie and the actors get to have. And not to say they didn't have fun, like they obviously were still having fun. It felt different. It felt different from the other two, and again, not to say that that's a bad thing. It just, you have to have different expectations with this one compared to the others.
I agree with that. I don't think this movie's less fun, but I think that it is a different kind of fun. It's a little less goofy. For the most part, there's a few scenes that are really goofy. The thing that blew me away, that really surprised me about this, was the amount of world building we got for the Quantum Realm. And I'm sure we'll talk a lot about it in the after the spoilers alert. But the world building of this thing was so much broader than expected. And like some of the Quantum Realm characters really got more depth than I thought they would. And I'm more interested in those characters going forward. Like I'm really excited to revisit the Quantum Realm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, in a way, it felt like this felt almost as big as when they introduced the cosmos to us, which I think is what they were going for. It's like they introduced the Quantum Realm. This is a whole new realm of storytelling they could delve into if they wanted to, you know?
The secret universe under our own.
That's right. That's right.
Very tiny.
Yeah, the scope of the movie is still small, but it had really big stakes.
For sure. Well, bigger than anyone knew. In the movie. Let's get to that spoiler alert. Are you ready to scream your head off some spoiler at us, Jeff?
Sure.
All right, guys, we're gonna go into the spoiler section now. But if you're just joining us and you haven't seen the movie yet, go see it. It's really good. If you're a Marvel fan, you will like it. And we're gonna get into the spoilers. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1.
My name is Darren, and I am not a dick.
There was I really didn't mind any of that. I loved what they did with it. I thought it was hysterical because there's no good way to kind of do that seriously.
To do MODOK seriously? No,
so
there's
good.
no way. He's a giant face with little arms and legs. Like,
oh my
it is
God,
the most ridiculous villain.
It's Darren.
That made it so funny. Like him being Darren instead of MODOK, or them calling him Darren. It's so funny.
I love that he got to keep his mind. Like he wasn't broken down and rebuilt as far as like mental capacity. He was still Darren, but just physically changed. And
They pulled him with this little.
And he was like, "No, my name's MODOK." And when Scott was like, "Darren, can you hear me? Darren."
Yep. It's one of my favorite things.
MODOK.
I love how like Darren just let it go for so long. Like let him go fight. He didn't even go like or something like that.
Yeah.
He just like let it go completely silent.
He's just like, he's clearly not talking to me.
One of the things that Peyton Reed or the writers of this and the directors do really well is they'll have a joke that doesn't feel like it's a joke until the punchline hits.
Yep.
Like a lot of jokes in movies feel like, hey, it's a setup and a punchline. In this, it is a lot of times like it feels like just regular dialogue, or like he's panicking because he can't hear Darren. He's like, Darren.
Oh God, the comms are out.
He's such a comical genius. Paul Rudd. They're very lucky.
For sure. And then the punchline just hits, and you're like, it just relieves tension you didn't even know was there. It's really, really good.
Yep.
I was talking about the world building. I guess now that we're in the spoilers, I just did not like we saw some of these characters in the trailer, and I just assumed they'd all be bad guys. Like the quantum realm was going to be like a world of maybe there'd be different factions. Kang and then other people. We talked a lot about that, but it was going to be a very hard to survive environment with lots of risk, and like the fact that when they get there, they end up in this like little troop of rebels, and then they do this world building where it really feels almost like a Star Wars style world where like you've got these docks and you've got the kind of upper crust people. Yeah, you've got a cantina scene. You've got this. You got a guy that's obsessed with holes, and that was really, really wonderful.
I have holes.
I didn't know he could do that.
It's like, I don't have any holes. What? How many do you have? He's like, he has 7. 1, 2.
I love that Scott sat there like, no, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, see, that was one of those moments. That was exactly one of those moments I'm talking about where you didn't know that was why he was pausing. It seemed like he was pausing because he was contemplating his like decision or something, because they were trying to like get him to, and he like paused for a really long time and then goes, yeah, that's right. Such a good joke. Such a good joke. I love that. It's a style of humor that I don't feel like is common enough. It's really good.
Yep. I feel like this movie did a lot of that type of joke, but also did the joke where somebody suddenly realizes something and interrupts the entire conversation. Like when MODOK was talking about his name, like mechanized organism designed only for killing, and Scott was like, "Oh, it's an acronym! It's an acronym! Yeah,
I get it. It's an acronym. Yeah, it's really good."
Completely cut him off in the middle of his like villainous monologue.
Yep, and it's really, really great.
I love that. I love that so much.
Bill Murray, I enjoyed his little character cameo. I was like, what is he going to do when I saw him in the trailer? But I thought it was perfect.
Yeah, it really was. And there's so many characters that I would watch a Quantum Realm movie tomorrow. Yep. Like those rebels, and like who fills the power of a vacuum left behind by Kang.
All of the buildings are alive.
All the buildings are
alive.
Your
buildings are dead?
Yours aren't? Yeah, they talked about the fact that there are worlds on top of worlds on top of worlds. So like this is just one little section of the quantum realm where Kang has been setting up his little empire, but like, and he's been apparently like conquering more space out in the quantum realm. So are there multiple when they say there's multiple worlds, I don't know if they mean like, and they say multiple worlds on top of worlds. Can you go smaller and be on even smaller worlds?
I gotta tap out. When I even think about our universe, that's like way too much. I start to be like, ugh. You know, it's just, hey, what do you mean? What do you mean by infinity? Like, what do you mean it goes on forever? Like, I can't think about that right now. So worlds upon worlds, I'm like, ugh. I just started to get the multiverse. What?
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. Not at all. I'm me somewhere else, but maybe cooler. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there I have powers.
It's everything everywhere all at once. I'm the worst version of myself. Like,
yep.
I'm that zero.
Yep. That's the multiverse.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love the kind of exposition that we got from Kang a little bit about, you know, multiverse and why he's there, and like, you know, he had the two rings of timelines that were above, you know, on top of each other, and like kind of wherever they were intersecting, things were exploding, and like that's where the incursions were happening. It was so cool.
I bet it looked cool on IMAX.
You know, I also saw it in standard, so...
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
Okay, you didn't have it stolen from you.
Yeah, no, it was not robbed from me.
Yeah, going in my theater was like, sorry, road's closed. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, the theater's not working, so you can get in line and pick a standard choice or get a refund or pick a ticket for another day. So I turn around and the line is around the entire thing because everyone was there for the 4:00 IMAX show, which was sold out.
Gosh.
And I'm like, I'm not going to get a good seat. Like, I'm very picky. We got through 5:00. They were like, it's good. So we went, we had a drink, we came back. They gave me the tickets for the 4:30 show. So I walk in, it's the scene where they're in the car, and I'm like, oh shit, we were supposed to be back here at 4:30. And they're like, no, we got the 5:00. So we had to go to the other side of the theater. Well, first I had to ask, like, what's up with my tickets? And they had no idea. They're just all shoulders at me. And I'm like, well, I'm all shoulders at them. Like, what are we supposed to do right now? And this kid walks up with the Ant-Man bucket and a drink, and it's 4:58. I was like, what time is your showing? He was like 5. I was like, what theater are you? And he was like 14. I was like, we're coming with you, buddy. They were like, oh yeah, just go. So I'm like, the whole thing's probably going to be sold out. We walked in, just the three of us walked in together, no one else in there. So we sat in the middle, and he sat like right in front of us, which is fine, community. And then 2 other people came in alone, and they sat right with us. And then 2 other people, we were in this little cluster, and I was like, this is cool. It was 7 people on our 720p screen, and we were silent.
I was at the 3:00, which is often not that full, but today it was completely dead because there's really bad storms down in like Mississippi and Alabama today. And so a lot of people just didn't come that were planning to, I think. I know I had friends cancel, so I'm assuming a lot of other people canceled, but I was like, I'm going. I'm going to drive home in the storm. It's fine.
Pansies.
I literally was told my friends, I was like, yeah, if it's storming that bad, I'm just trapped at the theater, I guess. But I'm gonna go see the movie. Like, hopefully I can make it in time for the podcast. But I told Jeff to be ready to run the live stream just in case I didn't make it.
Yeah, and I did nothing because I had entirely complete faith that you would just be fine.
I did not do that thing you asked.
I was really upset when I messaged you guys. I didn't think I was going to be able to see it because the line was like, you know, snaked around the theater. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's terrible.
You know what was funny though? And this just shows that we're the best kind of people. The people who were there at 4:00 to see this movie are all fans, and everybody, you know, we're all nerds. Nobody was upset. Everyone was like, oh, really? Oh, okay. What do I got to do over there?
You just got to
that
solve
long
the problem.
line. Oh, okay. Not one. I didn't hear anybody except me with my arms crossed.
You were the asshole.
Yeah. Well, I was mumbling to myself, and I was like, the whole point of this movie, like, is it's in the quantum realm, and it's supposed to be IMAX. I had the best seats right in the middle. I always get the same seats.
I like how you're like, this just shows that we're the best type of people. No one was complaining except for me. It's like, it shows that everyone else was the best kind of people.
Yeah. I need that magic. I need that IMAX magic to really feel in it. And it needs to be loud. Katie fell asleep twice. She's going to be upset that I said that. Twice. I was like,
how?
Right? But if it was an IMAX, it wouldn't have happened. So that's my only problem with standard is it's so quiet.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the movie.
Back to the movie. Let's talk about this movie. It's got so much we haven't gotten to. One of the things we were talking about beforehand is the change in tone from the trailer felt very epic. The thing that I expected fully based on the trailer was some deaths.
Oh, yeah.
I really thought we might get some deaths. And even, we talked a ton about how they would handle the Kang of it all. And this was one of the options we always knew would be around, the idea that Kang would just lose and we'd have to deal with another Kang at the end of the movie.
Yep.
But I didn't expect them to leave off the main movie before the post credits. They left off with an ominous tone because, with a jokey ominous tone, Scott is freaking out inside his head because he's like, "Did I just destroy the world? Did
that
I
was
just
so real for me.
Kill everybody?
Did I kill everyone?"
I do that about the littlest things. I couldn't imagine if I thought that I was possibly destroyed the world. I really related with him in that moment.
Yeah, man.
He said he knew it was coming, and he was the only one that could stop it.
Those thoughts, they just come, and you're like, no, now I'm having a good day.
I love, though, that he just, as he was doing that, and it was getting darker and more ominous, and he just, at one point, was just like, no, I'm going to stop thinking that way. No, everything's fine.
Yeah. And then it comes back again, though, at the birthday party.
And it ends with him taking a bite and being like, bah! That was terrible cake.
You guys think that the Kang we met in this movie, he's not this, I don't think he's the same version from He Who Remains, or would become exactly that, but do you think he is a version that was trying to do that? Because now we know, he mentions the Kang Dynasty, and at the end of the movie we see what the Kang Dynasty is, which is what the next Avengers movie is called. So, the next Avengers is called Kang Dynasty, and we now know that means some sort of club where all the Kangs are working together. I loved the last shot of so many of the Kangs,
the scroll
in that arena.
Yeah.
That's a lot. It was more than I expected.
Something that I plucked out of that was really freaking awesome is the Kangs that were when he was teleporting in across all of the places or whatever. The teleportation thing that happened is exactly the same as what Reed Richards did in Multiverse of Madness when he showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good
You're
call.
Right. Good call. I actually thought a lot of the visuals were borrowed from Multiverse of Madness. When they were looking into the quantum storm, the little fractured things that were going on were very similar to what we saw when Wanda was reaching through the multiverse and her mirror worlds and stuff. And what we saw of the broken glass on the poster. It all really reminded me of that, the little folding quantum realm.
Yeah,
a lot of what we saw.
It was a probability storm. That's what it was.
That's what it was. I called it quantum storm.
That scene was insane.
It really was. It was so crazy. When he split from himself. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
I'm the real one.
It was great. It's such a great scene. Oh, it had so much heart. The idea that all of none of the other ones could make them all work together, but he was able to because Cassie was his purpose, and they all would believe. Once they knew he was doing the thing he needed to do to protect Cassie, all of the Ant-Mans joined forces. That's so good. It's just so good.
And I love that everything leads back to saving Cassie for Scott. That's what all of those probability, the potentials, I guess, were, and they all came back together to do their part, to help Cassie. I love that when they were looking at the screen and MODOK and Kang how the hell is he doing that? It's because he's got that singular purpose of I need to save my daughter.
Yep, exactly.
It's so
and
good.
These people who have been in the quantum realm all this time and know how it works are amazed, and it's purely it's amazing because it makes sense. It makes sense, and I love that. I love that all these it makes sense, but it's also just all heart. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't know. I just so often you hear those like they're gonna solve it with love, and it's just like a cheesy ending to the movie. You know what I mean? But in that case, it just made a lot of sense. It was like, no, it's because all versions of him, no matter what, his purpose has always been to be with Cassie and to protect Cassie.
Oh man! And that visual from when Hope was coming down and he was coming up, and like it looked like two halves of an hourglass coming together.
It was cool.
Right there in the middle, and then sucked them both in. It was so awesome.
I felt like there wasn't a lot of Wasp in this Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. There was a lot of Janet, which I loved.
She is the Wasp.
She's so beautiful, though.
Yeah, I was amazed to see like Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Douglas, and Bill Murray sitting around a table having a conversation. It just felt so cool because those are like big actors from like the 80s and 90s. You know what I mean? And so it's just like neat.
How awesome was Michael Douglas's look? Like that like post-apocalyptic kind of road warrior type look with his hair like, you know, like kind of swept back and like the goatee. Like he looked awesome.
Romancing the Stones. Yeah. And I love that little place, just those people just had those perfect clothes all bundled and laundered and tied up and ready to go for them. They're like high fashion quantum desert style.
Yeah.
But it was very Star Wars.
I thought that might be weird. That could be weird, except like the way they're all traveling in a big troop like that, knowing that all the buildings are sentient and can move, like maybe they're just a lot of the people in the quantum realm are very nomadic, you know, like, so yeah, it makes sense. They just have like their laundry room was probably with them. That's all I'm saying. That was the stupidest headcanon I've ever done. Sorry.
When God, what was her name? When the leader of the people, the resistance fighters or whatever, when she was like, he destroyed our homes. That became a lot darker when you find out that the homes are alive, like that they're sentient.
Ugh.
Yeah. Oh,
no good.
It really is, and like in that case, your home is like your protector. You know, but it's also like you probably have a relationship with
probably a part of the family.
Yeah, God, that is
I don't
dark.
know if I would like that.
Well, you got to pick a home based on, you know.
Yeah, you gotta mesh with the home.
You got to date the home.
It's got to be a culture fit, really.
Just like I don't want my pets to talk, and I don't want my house to be alive.
And Scott was just happy to meet a raccoon that could talk.
Oh my God. Now I want to read that book. That is so funny.
That book is coming out. It's being released September 5th of this year.
Really smart.
I've already pre-ordered it on Amazon.
I can't believe they're making that a book that didn't come out with the movie. It feels like it was a marketing decision that was made very late in the game, and they're like, somebody ghostwrite this book, please.
Like, somebody write this right now.
Yeah.
And they're going to have an audiobook, and Rudda's going to make a ton of money just getting to, you know, read it.
Absolutely. He needs to narrate that audiobook.
Yeah.
100%.
All of his enthusiasm is Scott.
I loved all of his book reading moments. So, things we wanted in this that we got. Speaking of that, we got a Loki.
We got a Loki
and a Morbius
in that post-credits.
And he's dressed like he was in Crimson Peak. I love that time period on him.
Mobius also joining the pantheon of the very few characters who started on the TV side and moved into the movie side.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's only one scene, but that's the same thing that happened with Jarvis. So that was neat. That was neat. I like to see that.
And at least it shows that they kind of like figured out who each other were, because we left in a really bad place.
Is it Jarvis, Sitwell, and Mobius? Is that it? Is that the only three that have crossed over?
What do you mean?
Characters who started on the TV shows and moved to the movies.
Jarvis started in Iron Man.
No, I'm talking about the butler. Jarvis.
Oh, Edwin Jarvis, like the actual.
Yeah. Sorry, the actual Jarvis, not robot Jarvis.
I think Sitwell started from not
the consultant or something, right? Wasn't he in the?
He was definitely in the consultant. I remember that.
Or no, not the consultant. That's the other one.
That was the one shot.
The one shot. Yeah, he was in the one shots, but he wasn't in a movie first. He was in the one shots first, right?
I don't think so. I think he was in a movie.
Okay, I might be wrong. Very well could be wrong.
Daredevil, right?
No, Sitwell wasn't in Daredevil. He was in Agents
Oh,
of
no.
S.H.I.E.L.D. a bunch.
Characters that crossed over from like a TV show to a movie.
Oh, right, Daredevil. Thank you, Matt Murdock.
Matt Murdock, yeah.
Matt Murdock.
And Kingpin. Well, no, he went to the series, the Hawkeye series.
That's
Yeah.
Val did.
Val did.
Oh,
Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
right.
Yeah, they're connecting everything.
They are. I love it.
It's happening.
Good call, Dad 948 for the Matt Murdock call out there.
Sitwell was in Thor.
I did not remember him being in Thor. Okay.
Wasn't he also
Cool.
in Winter Soldier?
Yeah, but that came after Avengers.
Oh, okay.
Man, I feel like Kang was so unbelievably imposing and so, like, frightening. And
Absolutely.
I got exactly what I wanted out of Kang. I mean, maybe he didn't do as much as he could have, or, as much as we would like to have seen, but, like, I think he was the right amount of terrifying for this movie.
Yeah, he was great. He really made the movie.
We saw our heroes go up against all these people in the quantum realm and be captured and be like, not be able to get away and all this stuff. But then it took the entirety of the quantum realm joining the heroes to be able to take Kang down, like all of these people working together. It took everyone in the quantum realm turning on him and facing him down.
Well, even then it wasn't enough. It took the ants showing up. All of the ants.
Yes, the thousands of years in the quantum realm ants, which I freaking loved that. Ugh.
They were like Terminator ants. They all had all the cyborg stuff. I was like, this is amazing.
Yep, it really is.
And I don't want to die that way, please.
Yeah, I know. That seems like a terrible way to die.
Do we believe Kang is dead? Dead? I'm assuming, kind of.
I feel like he just got sucked inside there, but I don't know what that means. Is he small? Is he just tiny now?
He got sucked into the probability storm or something. I
so
think
definitely
there's a
trapped.
shitload of him in there. And he's going to do the Scott thing of working together with himself to get out.
He's been doing it for a long time and it hasn't worked out for him. Trying to work with himself.
Yeah, he's not good at
luck
working
in there,
with himself. Yeah, I kind of thought of that. I thought that might be a post-credit sequence, actually, is him in the probability
just like screaming
storm.
at him.
Like, the reason he's down there is because he can't play nice with the other versions of himself. And now he's going to go down there and be with endless versions of himself for the rest of time. Like, that's a terrible hell to send Kang to, that version of Kang.
That's fair. I
loved how different this Kang was from He Who Remains. Mm-hmm. And I absolutely loved the little bit we got to see of the different Kangs. And the three that sort of like seemed like they were sort of in charge. The one that was like wearing like ancient Egyptian garb, which is
Ramatut.
Ramatut. And there was the one that was wearing like, I don't know, cyborg like implants that looked very like Cyborg from the DC universe almost.
Yeah, almost. Are you just saying that because he's black?
No, I'm not. I'm saying that because the tech looked similar.
They did look quite similar.
That one didn't have the scars.
Yeah, a lot of them didn't.
I liked the gold scars on like the Ra one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they were gold?
Like,
that's cool.
Oh.
That's really cool. I didn't even catch that. I didn't catch it was mimicking or like over the scars. That's badass.
Yeah. It reminded me of
good.
the, if you remember the scene in Omnipotent City when, in Thor Love and Thunder, when they like were killing all the guards and they were just like exploding into gold. Valkyrie and Thor had like splashes of gold all over their costumes from like, all that blood. So like I just watched that like last night or the night before. So like when I saw him with the gold paint on his face, I was like, holy shit, did he kill some guards?
That's funny. That's funny. I'm so excited. Like this brought the idea of Kang. I feel like knowing that Avengers is called Kang Dynasty, it just feels like that's going to be where we finally get to face off with all of these Kangs, and I'm just really excited about it.
So do we think that Kang knew exactly what was going to happen? Because that's what he kept kind of bragging about. Like, well, I know how this is going to go. I know how it's going to end. Or is it more that he just knows how it's going to end, just doesn't really know the path that it's going to take to get there? I was just trying to understand him.
he sees time differently, is what he kept saying. I don't think he knows he knew this was going to happen to him. But he definitely knows that like eventually the Kang War will come to their universe, the 616 universe. And so that's what he was like warning Scott about. He also knows that like his plan was apparently, that's what I was going to say earlier. Do we think he's a very different character from He Who Remains, but when he described it, it sounds like his plan was similar. Like he wanted to take all those exploding universes and consolidate it into one ring. Like that was such a similar visual to what we saw He Who Remains did.
Yeah.
Right.
And so is this a multiverse? Is this a version of the multiverse where they killed because Kang Dynasty has formed, are they just killing off all of the Kangs that are a risk to the dynasty? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That are like a risk
Minority
to the
Report?
multiverse.
Yeah.
It's like before they do it.
Yeah. Well, at least before they win.
Yeah.
Like in this case, like because you can kind of imagine in this scenario, like the reason they, like, what if in 3 movies they go and face off with the Kang Dynasty in some way, and they get their butts kicked, and they realize like we got to get someone on our side that has power to be able to fight all these Kangs, and they go back in the quantum realm and retrieve Kang, who's been down there going crazy.
Yeah, you need to put that right on the top of the board and put 2027.
Whenever that is. I think it's just like 2025. I don't think it's that far away.
Don't open till 2027.
Yeah.
We cracked that letter open. Oh my God, we called it so long ago.
Yeah. We did. I felt a little bad. I felt a little bad about our prediction abilities in this one. We didn't predict the ending.
Yeah.
We did. It was one of the options on the board, but it wasn't like we weren't like this is going to happen. But we did like pretty much after some of those trailer breakdowns. We were like, they're going to get separated, and then Scott is going to help Kang do the thing because blah, 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 and then this is going to happen, and then she's going to join him, and then she's going to explain it, and then we had it like pretty much mapped out.
We had it beat for beat.
Yeah, so when I was watching, I was like, I'm not enjoying this, but I definitely am not being surprised very much.
Yeah.
That's not great.
I was surprised at the end. When I sat down, I turned to Ken after somebody said something, and I was like, guess how this is going to end? The next, Avengers movie is Kang Dynasty, so he's going to, he's going to leave Scott down there. It's going to be terrible, or he's going to kill him. I was like, oh, I was way off.
Yeah. I thought that until this Kang mentioned the Kang Dynasty, and he was like, I will destroy the Kang Dynasty, and I was like, oh, you're not the big bad. Oh, yeah. You're not the Avengers movie villain.
You're the aperitif.
Yeah, the amuse-bouche.
When he started to get upset and cry, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? Because that's not what I expected from my big bad Kang villain. That we're not to you yet. But I really liked this one. I'm actually I hope that you're right. I hope we go back and get him.
I want to know what he lost. Because
me too.
Because he kept saying, you have no idea what I have lost.
Well, see, and that's what would be beautiful. We had talked about it before, how for this Kang to be really meaningful going forward, he would need to have a meaningful loss in his past. We talked about his family, maybe his family
stakes.
What if he's trying to stop the Kang Dynasty from destroying the multiverse or causing all these incursions? So he's trying to do the He Who Remains thing and create his universe, But to do so, when the Kangs find out, they came after him and destroyed his universe. So he did literally lose everything trying to go up against the Kang Dynasty. He's lost his universe now. And lost everyone he loves and everything else. And so you could absolutely see if they go back down there to get him. He said stuff about loss, but didn't talk about what. If they go back down there to get him and pull him out, you could totally see a few scenes of humanizing him where he says do you know why I did what I did?
Yeah.
You know why I was building my empire?
Yeah.
I was going to build my empire so that I could bring back my family, something like that.
Yeah. So I could stop the incursions from taking any more families away.
Yeah.
So altruistic, Kang.
Such an altruistic
when
Kang.
Janet asked him, who is Kang, he said, he's who I need to be.
Yes, exactly. I could totally see this Kang coming back in not exactly a hero, but kind of like a Thanos way, where we see what he's doing, we like understand what he's trying to do, and yeah.
Oh.
They're not going to go get him. They're not going to go get him. We're not going to see this one until Secret War. We're not going to see this one again until Secret War. He's going to be the hidden, like the Molecule Man, where he's hidden, behind the scenes or whatever, and they discover him as a part of Battle World. That's my prediction.
Yeah. That's possible. If Kang Dynasty, I feel like he'll be back to fight the Kang Dynasty. Now, whether the Kang Dynasty will still exist in Secret Wars or what, I don't know.
That's after the Kang Dynasty movie, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It's the next one. But they're a year apart.
It's the one following it, which makes me think that Kang Dynasty is going to really mess up the multiverse and force somebody to break them all down and consolidate them into Battle World. And I really think that's going to be Strange.
Yeah,
I'm really leaning more into that God Emperor Strange.
Especially with him running around the multiverse, gaining in power, and working with multiversal sorcerers and stuff, and getting
that would be nice. I would like that a lot. Or Stephen Strange.
Yeah, I love that they've made Scarlet Witch just straight up a bad guy in Multiverse of Madness, because it opens that door. Like, the idea that Doctor Strange could become God Emperor Strange and be like straight up an antagonist who's, doing what he thinks is right, but it's like, everyone else is having to fight him. That's absolutely possible. And we've seen that happen before. And so it just means Marvel's willing to take those kinds of swings, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
It's also a good way to bring Wanda back into things all the way down the road towards the end of this to help fix whatever's going on, like redemption.
Yeah, absolutely. At least a version. When Kang started breaking down his talking about his variants and like showing the roots of like the multiverse crashing into each other, I was just so excited, because it's just he mentioned incursions, which ties it to Multiverse of Madness. He mentioned clearly variants and the way the universe looked. It just clearly tied it to Loki. Like all these multiverse things, they're paying attention from multiverse property to multiverse property, and like it's one of the things we wanted to see, and so I'm excited about it.
Yep. We got enough of a Loki cameo and reference and call out to satisfy that need without taking away from the film overall. And the fact that when Mobius was like, I thought you said he was this like imposing, terrifying being, and you see Tom Hiddleston like, he is. He has that look of terror on his face. I love that happened. That was so cool.
Yeah. Like, and we know that he can like jump around now, and there's going to be Kangs all over the timeline, and we've seen how many Kangs there are, like, in the Kang Dynasty. So, what... I just feel like the Loki show... I mean, I used to think, like, Kang would just be this ever-present, like, threat in Loki. We wouldn't see much of him. But now I feel like Loki, we could get a different Kang every week if we wanted to. And, like, really explore... Like, they get...
Kang of the week.
Kang of the week, yeah.
Well, it's really going to show Jonathan Majors. He's going to be playing different characters, kind of like
yes,
James McAvoy in that movie. What was it? Split? Yeah.
You know what else it reminds me of? Him having to do all the motion capture or whatever for that scene at the end where they're all like super pumped and they're like, yeah, rah, in that big stadium. You know what that reminds me of? Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
And that like, because that was one Jonathan Majors standing in front of a green screen doing all that stuff and then having to do the next one and then having to do the next one. It just reminds me of that Shia LaBeouf video where he's like yelling at the screen like, you can do it! Just do it! Motivation! Yep. Jonathan Majors had to stay in there and do that, and that's hilarious to me.
It's a lot of work.
They're just like, because they were probably just like, hey, Jonathan, be a different Kang now. And he's like, all right. And now another. Give us another different Kang.
Give us
Here's
a different
some more clothes.
Type of cheer.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's so funny.
This Kang has giant teeth and green skin. What would he roar like?
So good. Oh my gosh.
I'm back.
Y'all want to run through some of these feedbacks?
Sure.
Some of these live chats. We got a few live chats. VB Marvel fan says, Stranded Panda TV, with the departure from the previous Ant-Man installments, it seems like this will be the tone with Kang being in the mix. Do you think we will see Kang in Guardians 3? How does this impact Loki Season 2? Also, Council of Kangs? Yes. What do y'all think? Do you think we will see him in Guardians 3?
I don't know, because, like...
I don't think so. Maybe an end credit scene, but...
Yeah, I only think end credit scene, if anything.
Yeah, if anything, it's going to be end credits, because, like, there's so much Guardians lore and mythos that has to be explored, and, like, there's so much of their story already that needs to be told that, like...
Exactly.
We don't have time for Kang, but tis.
Well, and it's... James Gunn's swan song for the Marvel Universe, and it's him ending the story he started 9 years ago, and it's like, I think he's gonna wanna, he's not gonna let Marvel have a bunch of control over inserting things. I don't think. I think he's gonna tell his story that he's had planned and close out the Guardian story, and then move on from there.
Yeah, I trust him.
Yeah, me too.
But that trailer makes me sad. I'm so scared.
Me too. He probably gained a lot of creative control after they fired him and wanted him back, honestly. They probably were like, hey, James Gunn, that whole firing thing, we're sorry, will you come back? And he's like,
sign this paper.
I guess. Sign this saying I don't have to do anything you want. I'm just going to do my thing with my characters that I created.
Final cut. And that is all directors need to do at the end.
I bet that's exactly what he did. And then how does this impact Loki Season 2? We talked about this a little bit, but I think it's possible we'll get a lot of Kang.
And we don't know when that's coming out.
We don't know when anything's going to 2023, yeah, but previous to the time it came out in like May or something,
June.
Like right before. Okay.
It was June 8th.
That's exciting. I hope it's going to be fun. I hope they're hunting different ones or like trying to go back and I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I can't even, never mind. I'm not going to guess.
I can totally see them like hunting a Kang of the Week, which sounds super fun to me. Just like getting Jonathan Majors to really like bite into a different Kang every week, like be a different version of Kang.
So.
Sounds great. Sounds so great.
That man has chops, so
he really does.
I really think it's gonna be great to see that happen.
Oh man, me too. I don't know. Have we talked about on this podcast that we're about to cover the Creed movies over on Bingers Assemble? We just did Rocky, and we're about to do the Creed movies, and I'm so excited that he's in the third one.
Yeah, coming out 3/3/23.
I'm excited to go see that one.
Go subscribe to Bingers Assemble, guys, if you're interested in that, because I am super pumped about Creed 3. Honestly, to rewatch the whole series, because I love it. I've loved everything I've seen of it. I just haven't really seen much in a while. It feels like it didn't stick with me. Like I need to like rewatch. The Rocky movies always feel the same way. Like I always feel when I rewatch, I'm like, oh yeah, this happens.
I'm like, that's right around the corner.
Yeah. I spent a summer in Philly, and it's like I'm always like watching for things I recognize, and there's a few. I'm like, I bought watermelons right there on Market Street. I bought watermelons every day. We'd buy watermelons. Okay, next feedback. Dad948. The after credit scene were both A+. I've been waiting for this movie and shows to start tying together again and building momentum. Yeah. We've been saying this was the start of that momentum, and it's I mean like this ties directly to that scene with He Who Remains in a way that we didn't get in phase 2. You know what I mean? Like we knew Thanos was around, we knew he was a risk, but we didn't get this. Like we're all talking about we're ready for it to tie together. Marvel did not really do that for phase 1 and 2. 3 is where like, you know, we sort of really just not till Infinity War hardly that we really get the tie togethers. And it's like at least leading towards Endgame, you know. There's just post-credit scene, and then Infinity War, you know. Do
you think this means we're going to get to see Loki in the next Avengers movie?
Ooh. I don't know. I thought we might never see Loki in a movie again, but after seeing him at the end of Quantumania.
And they're hunting like Kangs, I feel like he better be in Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, and I think what's going to have is Thor is going to have a serious encounter with Kang. He even said, "Are you the one with the hammer?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Thor is going to have a serious encounter with Kang, and then his brother is going to have to show up to like give the Avengers a briefing on all the stuff they learned in Loki season 2. And like the Avengers are going to be like, "Can we trust Loki?" And like his brother is going to be like, "Yes, we can. Like I can tell this. My brother is different now. My brother's changed. My brother's
This is my brother, but it's not my brother."
Yeah. This is the trickster brother I've always loved, but I now trust him, you know?
Oh, this is who I always hoped my brother would become.
Yeah. We need that. We need that scene.
He's like, "This is your uncle, small child."
Oh, yeah, this is your uncle, small child, because he has love. The eternity kid.
Yeah. Show him
Kidternity.
he gets to introduce his uncle.
Aww.
Uncle Loki. You know, there was that point in the Rebel camp when like the drones started showing up and like right before MODOK first showed up, and I was getting really strong like Lamentus 1 vibes. Like out of that one episode of Loki.
Right. Yeah.
Where the moon was ending, or the world was ending, or whatever.
Gosh.
Where Janet lived kind of looked like that planet where Loki and Sylvie were on, just like the deep purples and blues.
Yeah, that's Lamentus
That you're talking
1,
about?
yeah.
Okay.
I had that whole like that kind of like desolate, barren landscape almost, but like where the city or the buildings were crashing down and like being destroyed, and like everything was just crazy hell, and huge dust clouds and all that. Like it felt a whole lot like that one sequence in that one episode of Loki.
Yeah. Man, I just absolutely loved those characters. The rebels. Like I want more of their story. Like I want like them rebuilding the world with the help of the ants, you know? Like I want
they get to have those ants now.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
Ants, what are those? Do we have those down here?
And I guess they can go back and forth easily now between the quantum realm and our realm because of what Cassie made.
Yeah, well, they built the quantum tunnel in Ant-Man 2, and they had that little submersible that let them get down there. Mm-hmm. But I guess with the beacon, now they can just like open a portal, which does make it easier for sure.
Yeah.
So a couple characters that I really would highlight, Quaz, I guess it was his name in the movie, but William Jackson Harper, who played Cheedy on The Good Place. So good to see him. And like him showing up in this just made me like, okay, don't waste Cheedy.
Was that the mind reader?
Yep. Yeah.
Do you know what I know him from? Dark Phoenix.
What? Oh, who was in Dark Phoenix?
He is Jessica Chastain's main counterpart. The two of them, were the leaders of that group of people.
Interesting. Oh, second Marvel role. You know, that's neat. And then also, Katie M. O'Brien played Jintora, the big like
Jintora. That's her name. The leader.
The leader. Yeah.
Yeah. I was in love with her.
Me too.
I was like,
I loved
abs. Jesus. Stock. She could beat the shit out of me.
And
I love
you.
She was really cool. I want more of her too. I just that character, and then of course the comedy stylings of the guy who likes holes. I need a show with those four as like the main characters.
Yep.
I would watch a Disney Plus series about that tomorrow.
I'd watch it right now.
Yeah, for sure. Waterfall Angel in the Twitch chat says, so is the Mobius a different Mobius? The Mobius we see at the end of Loki would know what Kang looks like because there was a giant statue of him in the TVA. That's a good question. Mm-hmm. He at least has different memories at that point, but no, you're right. That's after he changes his memories. So I don't know. That's
what I'm saying. It seems like this one knows what is going on.
I think Loki goes to, this is my prediction, I guess, for it, is that Loki is getting the help of Mobius in that universe.
Oh, like he's in it's that timeline? Okay.
Like, yeah,
maybe.
The Mobius that exists there, or he plucks a Mobius out and like has him come and help him.
I have a feeling it's the same Mobius, and this is that scene that we got with them when they go to find, what's the trio called? The Living Tribunal or whatever? Not the Living Tribunal. Is that who they were?
The Timekeepers.
The Timekeepers. That's who we theorized that they were. The Timekeepers, right? It's like, maybe the statue is there. They knew about the Timekeepers because they were up there. They were these like worshipped beings, but they didn't really know who they were. And Loki's trying to unmask who Kang is. He's like, no, like just like they did with the Timekeepers in the first one, find out they're animatronic. In this one, they'll be like, he's like, no, this guy is not to be worshipped. He's this guy. He's this nefarious guy. And he goes and he's like, this guy doesn't look nefarious at all. What are you talking about? He just looks like him. Or so, like he's got to convince Mobius that like Kang is bad.
What do you think he promised him to get him there? Think he promised him a jet ski?
Two.
Not in that time period. I know they have traveling shows, but I don't think any of those traveling shows have jet skis. But yes, Kakron just said in the chat, jet ski arc win? Yes, we definitely need a full-on jet ski arc.
Always a jet ski.
Always jet ski. Always jet ski. Waterfall Angel says in the chat, missed the beginning of the cast. Did you touch on the fact that there was no Luis? How dare they? I'm glad you brought that up because we have not touched on it. I was shocked that there was no Luis.
I didn't think there was gonna. We're moving on from that.
No, I'm still upset. That's what I meant by the tone was completely wrong. There was no Luis.
Yeah.
There was no.
Yeah. No ex-con.
Kurt. There was no. What was his name? What was T.I.'s character's name? Guy?
I don't know. Ex-con is their company.
Yeah, there was no the trio of ex-cons.
I just don't see how it would have made sense. Because it happened so fast, unless it was in the beginning, like being like, hey, friends who still live in San Francisco.
That's what I thought. I thought we were just going to get a scene
like
at the beginning.
A birthday party or something.
We got a Jimmy Woo cameo.
We did.
Jimmy Woo and no Luis.
And Baskin Robbins guy.
And Baskin Robbins always finds out.
We got a bunch of people in this movie from the other movies, but like a bunch of references, but no Luis.
Nobody important.
They weren't heisting at that time.
Yeah, maybe they're off on an important heist. I talked about it on the cast. Like we'd find out what happened to Cassie during the blip. Like, did she have her mom and her mom's husband or whatever? And like, we didn't even find that out.
She de-aged. The actress they got in Infinity War just did not look. I know I'm not a mother, but that did not look like the right age. This one looked more age appropriate. Like, she looked a little old. She's supposed to be. It was 5 years when we saw her in Ant-Man and the Wasp. She's what, 9?
Something like that, yeah.
She's got some teeth missing. Like, she's a little kid.
Yeah, probably about 9 because she says 6.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so 5 years she's 14. And they hired that 19-year-old to play Cassie Lang.
Yeah.
You think we didn't notice, but we did.
I didn't even notice they changed the actresses, if I'm being honest.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I don't notice people's faces. I'm face blind. But the thing that I loved about the Cassie arc of it all is she says, like, my life's never been normal. I was attacked by a guy in a bee suit when I was 6. And then in this movie, her big third act fight is against that guy in the bee suit.
With a giant face.
Yeah, I liked it because it's like, that's probably been the thing that's been, she says it, like, that's when my life changed. Like, that's when my life was no longer normal.
Yeah.
You know? And that was probably really traumatic. And now she's been, like, carrying that around as, like, the thing that made her life change. And now she got to be a superhero and fight him. And I just thought that was fun. And they didn't, like, really call it out even. It was just, like, a nice, subtle thing.
And not only fight him, but, like, she got to bring him back to the side of good.
Yeah, if there was one in there.
Like, that take to camera of, like, it's never too late to stop being a dick.
I loved it so much.
Aw.
So many people need to hear that.
Yep.
Just stop it. All right. Well, it looks like that's about all the feedback. You guys got any last thoughts on Quantumania?
I'm excited to see it again, and I'm excited to let it sit in a little bit more and read it more feedback when we get emails and bring more things up, because it is so hard. It's like, I don't know, 10:38 here, and I'm like, I know so much more happened, and I just can't.
Oh yeah.
I can't bring it out.
Well, that's why we have these instant reactions, just to get something out and to the world about this movie, because we're all excited. But over the next few weeks, and that's a great transition, because guys, if you're here, it's your first time finding the MCU cast. We are just fans who love this stuff and love to talk about it and love to have these conversations like fans do, because that's what we are. And if you like this, if you've enjoyed this, join us. Please subscribe. Find us here. Find us on YouTube at Stranded Panda. And just subscribe. Hit that subby button on whatever app you're using. And we do MCU cast every week. We talk about feedback from our listeners. We do retrospectives on old movies. We talk to people about what they love about Marvel. We do all kinds of things. Just we're big fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we'd love to have you join us on this little journey and be part of the family. And if you want to do that, go over and hit that sub button. And thank you to everyone who swapped over. We created new Patreon tiers a few weeks ago, beginning of February. If you've been away for a while and you're finally back because Quantumania is out and you haven't heard us talk about it, there are new Patreon tiers. Patreon.com/MCUcast. If you have been a patron a while, you should go and swap to the new tiers so you get all the exclusive content and everything. That would be awesome. We're doing monthly charges now instead of weekly or like per podcast or whatever. It's a long story. We talked about it on a previous episode.
It's easier now. Don't worry.
It's much easier.
Yes. That's all you need to know, really.
And we're going to do some shout outs next week to some of the new patrons. Start doing those shout outs. But let me shout out. I shouted them out in the credits, but shout out our very first Illuminati tier patron.
We have an Illuminati tier patron?
We have an Illuminati tier patron.
Wow.
That
A
is
real one?
incredibly kind. A real one. I talked to him and everything. He's been a patron a while, but he joined. He swapped to the Illuminati level. Walter Kreisky III. Thank you. He's been a patron a while, but he jumped in as the first Illuminati patron, which is the $100 level. Which is we didn't even know if we'd get one. So thank you very much, Walter.
We were like, wild card. Thank you, Walter.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome. And we'll be back very soon with more MCU cast. Ash, tell them about your podcast.
If you like horror, you can find my podcast on all the things at Bill and Ashley's Terror Theater, where we just kind of Joe Bob Briggs, Elvira style, break down movies and give recommendations and talk about news. It's terrifying. You'll love it.
Bill and Ashley's Terror Theater.
It's really not, though. I get so many people who are like, we hate horror. And I really like watching it or listening to the show because we don't have to watch it, but we get to hear about how movies are made.
Yeah, you guys do a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff that like makes really just interesting stuff to learn. I love it. All right, guys. Well, we'll be back soon. Have a good one. Peace.
Until next time, true believers.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us for the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast. Available everywhere you get podcasts, and now a video version streaming live on twitch.tv/strandedpandatv and available at youtube.com/strandedpanda. And if you'd like to learn more about all of our other podcasts, geeky projects, and ways to support the network, visit strandedpanda.com.